It's coming up to 6:30 GMT, and you're listening to Weekend.
This is the BBC World Service. Join Harriet Gilbert as she talks to author Monique Roffey about The Mermaid of Black Conch.
It's 1976, and off the Caribbean island of Black Conch, 2 American trophy fishermen have just landed the catch of a lifetime, a centuries-old mermaid.
They strung her up alongside the 2 marlin for all to see, her head hanging downwards, her deadly hair trailing, her arms lashed with rope behind her back.
But Islander David rescues her and vows to win her trust.
I want readers just to be hypnotised and mesmerised, and then later along the line, maybe, be thinking about ideas like colonialism and gender and fluidity. That's exactly what a good book should do. It should initially move people emotionally, and later on, people have a think about what else is going on in the book.
World Book Club with Monique Roffey at bbcworldservice.com/World Book Club.
It's 6:30 GMT. This is Weekend from the BBC World Service. Still to come, the future of Europe after Angela Merkel. And we'll be hearing from the women finding comfort in pretend babies. That's all coming up for you here on Weekend with me, Anna Holligan. But first, a summary of world news.
BBC News with Fiona MacDonald. Mexico's Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard has announced a working group to fight people trafficking in the wake of a truck crash which killed more than 50 people, mainly migrants from Central America. Critics say migrants have been forced to make increasingly dangerous journeys to avoid the heavy military presence in the state of Chiapas. A court in Benin has sentenced an opposition leader, Rekia Madugu, to 20 years in prison after finding her guilty of financing terrorism. On Friday, her French lawyer walked out of her trial, describing it as a political sham. The British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has warned Russia that it would face severe economic consequences if it invaded Ukraine. Ms Truss was speaking ahead of a meeting of foreign ministers from the G7 group of advanced economies due in the English city of Liverpool later today. Palestinians in villages across the occupied West Bank are voting today in municipal elections for the first time in 4 years. The main opposition party in the West Bank, Hamas, is boycotting the elections. There's been a large explosion at a Palestinian refugee camp in the city of Tyre in southern Lebanon. There are conflicting reports about the cause of the blast. A dozen people have reportedly been injured, including a fireman and a paramedic. Prosecutors at the sex abuse trial of Ghislaine Maxwell in New York have rested their case after a 4th woman testified that the British socialite groomed her for sexual activity with the late convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Ms Maxwell's lawyers will open their defence arguments on Thursday. The World Bank has said that international donors have agreed to transfer $280 million to be used for urgent humanitarian assistance for Afghanistan. International funding has been frozen since the Taliban seized control. BBC News.
This is Weekend from the BBC World Service with me, Anna Holligan, and I'm now delighted to introduce you to our special guest panellists. Ulrika Franke, a Senior Policy Fellow at the European Council on Foreign Relations, drone researcher, sci-fi reader, artificial intelligence and military tech are some of her specialisms, according to Instagram. And Tim Judah, a Balkans correspondent at The Economist, author, political analyst, and currently working on European demography. Tim, I want to start with you because you've been working as a journalist for 30 years. Where did it all begin?